Hi, I'm John Cranton with JimFeist.com. It is Wednesday. Going to take a look at all the action going on tonight, baseball, hockey, and the NBA. First, want to remind you, Jim Feist is on that sizzling basketball run, 7-2 going back to last Thursday, 2-0 sweep Sunday, and another 2-0 sweep Monday with the Warriors on the over. And then last night he had the Spurs Rockets over the total. It's part of a 110-66 NBA run for Wednesday. Jim has an NBA total showdown going tonight. He also has baseball and hockey totals available, all at jimfeist.com. Dave Cokin had a nice doubleheader sweep with the Indians, including on the run line yesterday, a nice 6-0 run. And you can get Dave's super total for $49 at jimfeist.com going Wednesday. All right, let's start off with the NBA. You got the Celtics and the Washington Wizards in that pivotal Game 5 going tonight. The series tied 2-2. And all the talk seems to be about momentum. Washington winning the last two games, bringing the momentum into this game. But how about the momentum really is about a home court, and we see that all the time in NBA history where home court can be a huge difference maker, even in college basketball as well. And we're seeing it in this series. The Celtics, in those first two games at home, they shot 51% from the field in both games. Washington had no defense at all. And then Boston went to Washington for games 3 and 4 to take command of the series, and they didn't play any defense. They got physically pushed around, and they got routed, giving up a whopping 116 points and 121 points in the two games. However, now they're heading back home. And keep in mind, Washington, yeah, they've won 2 in a row, but this has been a bad road team all season long, despite plenty of talent, 20 and 26, count the playoffs. On the road, they're a soft defensive team, too, going back to the regular season, number 21 in the NBA in points allowed, and they played no defense at all in the first two games here. They're also on a 1-4 spread run on the road. Both teams are playing on 2 days rest coming into this game, and that seems to help Washington, 8-1 against the spread. And this Boston team, you know, they've been great in back-to-back games because of their depth, but oddly enough, when they're playing on 2 days rest, just 7-19 against the spread. However, coming home is certainly going to help a Boston team that has much better balance across the board than Washington has, number 7th in the NBA in scoring, number 15th in points allowed, and also very good in field goal shooting defense, top 10 in the NBA in field goal shooting defense, as well as three-point defense, where they finished second in the NBA, right behind the mighty Golden State Warriors. Really, the way to look at tonight's game is, you think there's going to be any defense at all? Boston, when they're playing at home, 8-3 over the total when they're facing Washington at home. And the Wizards, when they're working on 2 days of rest, 38-18 over the total. They're also 34-16-1 over the total on the road. Probably look for both teams to get 115 points at least in another offensive show tonight. All right, let's look at one of the late baseball games going on Wednesday. You got the Detroit Tigers out on a road trip to the Arizona Diamondbacks, an interleague game. We have Arizona opened a small favorite here at home, 113, but in Vegas they've shot up to a 134 favorite, and the money's come in on the total too, which went from 10 to 10.5. The Tigers one game over 500 after winning last night, coming from behind. They were behind 3-2 at Arizona halfway through the game, and then rolled away from a 7-3 to victory after that. However, they're 7-8 on the road, and a part of a 5-7 run. The Tigers are the last 12 games. The offense has been pretty good, number 12 in baseball in runs scored. The pitching has been dreadful, dead last in Major League Baseball with a 4.83 ERA. They did get a good pitching performance last night. Tonight they're going to turn to the left-hander Matt Boyd. He's 26-year-old lefty. Pretty good ERA of 3.78. However, take a look at his walk ratio. It is really bad. 16 walks in 33 innings. You throw in 30 hits allowed. There's a lot of guys he's putting on base, and that explains a 5.68 ERA on the road. So it's difficult to make a case to back the struggling Tigers the last 2 weeks. They are 11-4, Detroit is, against winning teams, and they facing an Arizona team that is also struggling after a hot start. Arizona just 3-7 the last 10 games. This will be the second straight home game for the Diamondbacks, part of a terrific 9-game homestand for them, and they're top 5 in baseball in runs scored, 13th in on-base percentage. The pitching has improved dramatically now to number 11th in baseball in team ERA, where they were so poor a year ago. However, they are struggling, and they're going to have some struggles tonight, too, because they have to bring up Zach Godley from AAA Reno. He's 27 years old. And last year with the team, 86 hits allowed in 74 innings pitched, 25 walks, and 60 strikeouts. Not a bad ratio, but not great either. And that really showed in the ERA, 6.39 ERA. Arizona has been great in these interleague games of 20-7. That partly explains the money going on them. But Godley does not like Chase Field. It's not an easy park to pitch in. Good hitters park, good home run park. And for his career, he has a winning record of 5-3. However, some really ugly numbers. 6.44 ERA in this park. That's 18 overall appearances and 10 starts. So really, the way to look at tonight's game is follow the money with respect to the total. You got two suspect pitchers, two terrific offenses. When Arizona is at home against a team with a losing road record, they're 36-15-2 over the total. Before you back the home team here, which is where the money's going, Detroit has now won 5 of the last 6 games against Arizona. All in all, I have to look at an offensive show tonight. Probably an 8-5 final. Either way, we're probably going over the total. All right, let's take a look at the NHL. We got 2 Game 7s going on Wednesday. Let's take a look at the first game in the Eastern Conference. You get Pittsburgh facing Washington. Washington open -167 favorite. And all the money's come in on the home team here. The Capitals 185 favorite with a high NHL total of 5.5. You got 2 of the top 3 offensive teams in the NHL going here. Pittsburgh, they were flying high up 3-1 in command of the series, the defending champs. However, they lost the last 2, and the defense has really struggled. Have to look at the loss of defenseman Chris Letang and, of course, their starting goaltender Matt Murray, who was so great in the playoffs last year. He hasn't been available, and the defense has struggled these last 2 games, but they've also struggled all season. For the year, this team ranked number 20th in penalty killing and number 17th in goals allowed, where Penguins were not a dominant road team. And that defensive weaknesses have certainly come up these last 2 games. If you're looking at a situational move as far as coaching that has turned the series in Washington's favor, it's what Barry Trotz did before Game 5. He took Alex Ovechkin, put him from the number 1 line down to number 3, which raised some eyebrows. But what he was saying is the first line has been great, but we prefer to have balance and attack opponents with rolling 4 lines. Well, moving him to the 3rd line has certainly paid dividends, as he had a big goal the last game, and it's helped Andrei Burakovsky, who moved up to the 1st line. He's had 3 goals these last 2 games. So they're getting what they wanted out of the 4th lines. They've won these last 2 games. Now they're at home for Game 7. Probably the way to look at tonight's game would be it's Game 7. Everything's on the line. Historically, in all sports, NBA and NHL, you see teams focusing on defense in these Game 7s. Wouldn't be surprised to see more of a defensive game, and you got a high NHL total here of 5.5. And keep in mind, when Washington Capitals, when they're facing an Eastern Conference team, they're 16-7-2 under the total. And in these conference semifinal games, they're 14-6-6 under the total. Go with a 3-2 final score either way. The defending champs are certainly capable of winning on the road. However, probably a defensive game here. All right, that'll do it for Wednesday's Proline Daily Edition. Make sure you check out JimFeist.com. Jim Feist has that NBA TV total showdown going tonight, as well as baseball plays all day long, a big inner circle play, and a mound mismatch battle. Plus, Dave Cokin has that super total available. All this and more at JimFeist.com. Good luck with the games, everyone, and we'll see you on Thursday with another Proline Daily direct from Las Vegas.